Okay, so this is an introduction to managerial finance. No, let's begin with the definition of finance. Finance can be defined as the science and art of managing money. Well, I highlighted the word science and art. Okay, kasi yung managing money, we can understand naman yan, no? You can understand it by yourself. But yung term na science and art, why finance is a science and why finance is an art? No, science because in managing money, we follow a step-by-step process, a procedure, a systematic procedure on how we manage money effectively and efficiently. Yun po yung ginagawa natin on managerial finance. We follow certain steps, certain procedures in order to manage that money, okay, in the best way that we can do to that money. No, it is an art because remember, art is something to do with an expression. No, okay. Um, Through finance, we can express how we manage that money. Okay, we can able to make some what we call this additional it can provide skills kasi art is also a skill. Okay, so managing money is both a process and a skill. Hindi po kasi lahat once you are born, pag ipinanganak po tayo agad, yung finance na skill nandyan agad. We can effectively manage money. Take note, kaya nga may subject na ganito because in order for you to develop your skill on managing money, okay, we have this subject in order for you to determine what appropriate processes on managing funds. That is finance, okay? So, if we talk about finance, it talks about the development of your skill, getting to know the different processes on managing money. What are the career opportunities in finance? We have two different career opportunities. Okay, we have the financial services and the managerial finance. Let's talk about financial services. Financial services is concerned with the design and delivery and advice of financial products to individuals and business governments. So, if this is about delivery of financial products, okay, to different type of business organization or organization, kasi posible namang hindi organization ang ang pagbibigyan natin ng financial product. We can also provide financial product to government. Okay, um I the analogy for this, for example, itong mga um financial advisor, these are financial, yung isang part ng finance wherein they deliver, no, okay, products, okay, through their financial advising services. Another is that um yung pagbebenta ng mga insurance, okay? That is a financial service, okay? It involves a variety of interesting career opportunities within the areas of banking, personal finance planning, investment, real estate, and insurance. Banking also have this financial services, yung pag-o-open ng mga savings account, time deposit accounts, yung sinasabi din natin na mga demand deposits, okay? Those are financial products or financial services that this financial institution can offer. No, they design, they formulate, they organize, and those um designed products are being delivered to certain individuals, businesses, or even government agencies. Yung pangalawang career opportunity on finance is yung pag-uusapan natin throughout the semester, which is the managerial finance. Well, managerial finance is concerned with the duties of financial managers working in an entity. Okay, no, even in government there is managerial finance. Okay, so, what are the common, um, job opportunities under managerial finance? Based on the screen, I have enumerated one, two, three, four, five, six, seven common, okay, financial managerial finance activities or job opportunities. We have the financial analyst. A financial analyst, okay, which is very common on banking institution, on commerce and industries, even in government agencies, these are common job items, okay? A financial analyst usually prepares financial plans and budget. Okay, financial planning and financial budgeting is a duty of a managerial finance provider. Okay, through the financial analyst. Okay, if you prepare financial plans and financial budgets for the coming period, okay, you are a managerial finance practitioner. Okay, then we have what we call the capital expenditures manager. The capital expenditure managers evaluates and recommends proposed long-term investment. Kaya nga long-term investment because the expenditure that this manager is managing is more on capital. If we talk about capital expenditures, this refers to long-term costs incurred by corporations or by any entity. So once the basic job of a capital expenditure manager is to evaluate different long-term investment scheme and then recommend, we don't approve, we recommend only, which of the long-term investment scheme that we have evaluated is more appropriate to the business model or to the business operation of a particular organization. That's capital expenditure manager works. While project finance manager, okay, they arrange the financing for approved long-term investments. Ito, si project finance manager, okay, no? If the capital expenditure already evaluated and recommend what long-term investment, okay, is more appropriate or um, merong mas malaking return, the project finance manager comes in. Okay? Papasok po siya. Because the project finance manager arrange the financing of that particular long-term investment approved by a authorized authority. Okay? Ano po yung sinasabing arrange financing for the approved long-term investment? Ibig sabihin, the project finance manager is looking for funds. Okay, what would be the sources of funds, okay, of that particular long-term investment? Would it be a combination of equity or debt, or fully financed by equity, or fully financed by a liability? Okay, that's the job of a project finance manager. Another managerial finance job opportunity is cash manager, which is responsible on maintaining and controlling the firm's daily cash balances or the cash position of the company in a daily basis. As cash manager, it is very much important for you not to assess day by day, okay, how much cash is available for disbursement, okay, and how much cash were being collected during the day. Okay? That is the responsibility of the cash manager. Parang araw-araw ikaw Usually, no, in business organization, itong mga cash manager na to, parati yun yung hinahanap. Kasi siya ang tatanungin, do we have enough funds to pay our expenses? Okay, because the cash managers knows the daily cash balances, the available cash for withdrawal, the available cash for disbursements, yun siya yung may alam. Even the available, the cash collected for the day, siya yung may alam. Okay? So that's the cash manager's responsibility. He should maintains and controls the firm's daily cash balances. Okay? Siya rin po yung may responsibility when to release those funds being requested and when to hold those cash or funds na nire-request. That's the job of a cash manager. While credit analyst or credit manager, this administers the firm's credit policy. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, the credit analyst usually, no, okay, kasi he or she administers the credit policy of the particular organization, he to more it makes to make it more specific rather, okay, um siya yung nag-iisip when to extend credit to a applicant, okay, yung uutang, and then he or she is responsible as well on determining, okay, how much from these receivables are being collected already. In short, he monitors, okay, the collection of that particular receivable. He also evaluates credit applications. Ibig sabihin, pag credit analyst ka, para kang judge whether to approve or disapprove the applicant for credit, okay, um, eh, for credit sa company nyo. Okay? It is your job as credit manager or credit analyst. Okay? We have another job opportunity under managerial finance. We have what we call the pension fund manager, which oversee, supervise, or manages the assets and liabilities of the EPF. What is EPF? It's about employees fund, pension fund. Okay, so you need to always check, monitor, okay, the assets and liabilities of the employees pension fund. If it fluctuates, okay, if there are premiums, okay, added to that employees pension funds, or there is a decrease on the employees pension fund. As pension fund manager, your focus is more on the pension funds of your employees. Then we have the foreign exchange manager. Okay, the foreign exchange manager manages the foreign operation. This includes the foreign exchange rates, okay, yung pagtaas at pagbaba ng foreign exchange, okay, the conversion of peso to any foreign denomination like dollars, euros, okay, yen, or whatsoever, no? You are going to to check and evaluate time to time if mas mahal ba ang piso or mas mahal ba ang piso mas mahal ba ang piso or mas mura ang piso kesa sa dolyar or sa ibang denomination, or I mean kuan foreign currencies. Okay, that is the job of a foreign exchange manager. Okay, so even the importation and exportation sometimes pwedeng pasukin ng foreign exchange manager because the importation and exportation transaction involves no foreign exchange. Kasi once we import and export, okay, nandyan din po yung pagbayad through foreign currencies. So, as foreign exchange manager, sometimes papasok ka din po sa mga activities and operation na ganon, the importation and exportation of the business products. Okay? Kasi this is a foreign operation. Okay? So, those are the most common duties of financial manager. Okay? Or those are some or most common managerial finance job opportunities. But those job opportunities that I enumerated and enumerated on the handouts are not limited, okay? It can be extended to a more variety of job opportunities, okay? So, the next part will be the forms of business organization. We include this topic on the introduction because the different forms of business organization needs, okay, this finance function, okay, whether it is financial services area or a managerial finance area. These four business organization that is very much common in the society today really needs, the concept of finance. These are the sole proprietorship, the partnership, the corporations, and the cooperatives. Okay, so I will not discuss any more deeply the different forms of business organization. It is because I believe that this business organization, ano, na i-discuss na to on your prerequisites subject. Okay? But I will give you a short recap about this. No, once we talk about sole proprietorship, this is only owned by one person, no, which is called the sole proprietor himself. And sometimes the sole proprietor himself is acting as the finance manager of that particular business organization. O, kung sino yung may-ari, siya agad yung financial manager. Mag-hire pa ba siya? Okay? Katawa-tawa naman yun. Sole proprietorship. Nag-hire siya ng financial manager. Obviously, sinong sole proprietor ang maggagawa nun? In a partnership, we knew that partnership is an association of two or more persons, okay? Contributing cash, non-cash assets, and even industry for a in a common fund in which its objective is to divide profits among themselves. Considering that partnership is composed of two or more people, yung problema ngayon, who acts as financial manager? Okay? Sometimes all of them acts as financial managers because remember, the finance activity must be agreed upon by the partners themselves. Take note, partnership is formed by mere agreement. Okay? The action of the one partner is not enforceable without the consent of the other partners unless otherwise the partnership or the partners of the partnership agreed that um they will give this finance manager function to a particular person. Okay, whether within the partners or outside the partners. It depends on the agreement. As long as it is agreed upon, ma- yun yung masusunod. Kasi yung partnership nagawa naman by mere agreement. Okay? Well, on corporation and cooperatives, this is the more com should I say complicated one kasi mas marami ang tao. Cooperatives, iba-iba ang tao dito, even in corporations. Okay? Yung problema ngayon is who act as financial manager in a corporation and a cooperatives. In a cooperative, so in most cases, they hire, okay? They hire professionals to act as the managerial finance officer of the company. For corporations, in most certain cases, kung sino pa yung mas may malaking investment or share, usually siya yung managerial finance um, function because it is assumed pag malaki yung investment mo, obviously pro-protectionan mo na hindi malaki ang maging loss sa'yo, okay, as a stockholder. And you want to control any finance any financial activities on the organization, considering that mas malaki yung investment mo. Parang for example, in a group, no, in a group of students, okay, ang bagay sila. Okay, si A, 10 piso, si B, 10 piso, si C, 10 piso, at si D, 100 pesos. Sa tingin nyo sa apat, sino kaya yung magiging magko-control on the disbursements, on the um, disbursement or paying of, or magmamanage ng finances? Obviously, kung sino yung may pinakamalaking ambag. Because he wants to protect, or he is expected na iproprotectionan niya yung funds of the entire group kasi mas malaki yung investment niya. Okay? That is the most common situation in corporation. Okay? So, I hope naiintindihan niyo, no? Why do we need to include the forms of business organization in the introduction to managerial finance? Okay, finance within an organization. Remember, as stockholders of a corporation are the owners of the business organization. Okay, and from the stockholders, they are electing board of directors. Okay, take note. And the board of directors, okay, is acting as, no, the the approving body. Okay, kung sa Philippine government, this is the legislative body who approves, okay, no, any proposal coming from its subordinates. Okay, and the board of directors are elected by stockholders. Okay, pero higher from the board of directors is the stockholders themselves. Take note of that. Okay, yan lang yung kulang on the illustration that I provide. Okay, that higher from the board of directors are the stockholders, because the board of directors, their power, no, galing lang po sa stockholders. Okay, okay, so the board of directors, among themselves, elect the chief executive officer, or the president of the company, and then it has two different VPs. Okay, we have the vice president for operations in a normal sense, and when we have the vice president for financial affairs, or the chief operating officer and the chief financial officer. The chief operating officer focus on the operation of the business organization. This includes the marketing, the production, human resource, and other operating departments. Okay, even the selling of the products of the corporation, selling the services of the corporation, while the chief financial officers, okay, supervises all accounting, taxation, and finance related activities. That's why under chief financial officer, the following departments are included: the accounting, the treasury, the credit, the legal, the capital budgeting, and investor relation. So the managerial finance function, or the finance activities, or the financial activities, or the managerial finance activities, nasa chief financial officer na area. Okay? Kasi nandun si treasury, nandun si credit, nandun si capital budgeting, nandun si investor relations. Even the cash is there. Okay? So, the the managerial finance function is part of the chief financial officer's job. Okay? So, the finance is within the chief financial officer. Okay? Pero, meron din control si chief executive officer to that particular activity kasi nasa ilalim lang naman niya si chief financial officer. Even the board of directors can also control, okay, provide recommendations to the chief financial officers, okay, activities, considering the board of directors under that group is the CEO and the chief financial officer. Okay, so that's the organization, the finance within the organization. Okay, corporate finance and capital market and investment. So we need to differentiate this three. Financial management are also corporate finance. Okay, once you practice financial management, your decision guide are this. Okay, you need to answer the following question. For example, in the future, after 10 years from now, you will become a chief financial officer of one, Aboitiz. Oh, malaking kumpanya yan, no? Aboitiz. Once you are a financial manager of that particular company, you make sure that your plans, okay, your decisions, okay, are based on these following questions. Una, how and what type of assets to acquire. Okay, you need to check, evaluate how to acquire such asset. Okay? Paano magkakaroon ng mga ganong mga assets? Okay? Hindi lang to about cash. Kasi the word was asset. So, any assets. Pwedeng non-cash assets. Okay? Okay, long-term investments are considered assets. Another is what type of asset to acquire. Make sure that the type of asset that you're going to acquire is very beneficial to the company. Oh, paano magiging beneficial? If it will have a return on investment. Okay? Yun yung isang basihan, no? Merong return on investment or return on that asset. Kaya nga, meron po tayong mga topic dito on mga computation of returns, the ROA, the ROI, the ROE, the return on equity. Because that would be the basis of evaluating which asset to acquire and what are we expecting on that assets that we are acquiring. The next decision guide that you need to answer is that how to raise capital needed for the purpose of sustaining business operation. Okay? To take note, capital in business organization does not only, okay, comes from the equity itself. Posibleng galing din po siya sa mga long-term liabilities. Okay? Kaya nga, pwedeng sabihin na lang natin yung tanang how to raise financing needs for the purpose of sustaining the business organization. Okay? Paano ka magkakaroon ng enough funds? Take note, funds can be um, taken from the equity or from the liabilities. Okay? Uutang ka sa bangko para magkaroon ng funds. Or you require your stockholders to invest more, to have additional funds for the company and for the purpose that we can able to survive, okay, on the changing competition in the business world. For example, today, because we are experiencing the pandemic, the COVID-19. Do you think that financial managers are thinking how to sustain their business operation in spite and despite of the of the situation? Yes, they are all also working nowadays, okay, on business organizations because they want to protect that the business organization will not shut down. Okay? Kasi mas malaking loss yon. So, it is the responsibility of the financial manager to make sure that the business operation is being sustained by thinking the different sources of funds. Okay? And next decision guide is how to run the firm so as to maximize its wealth. Okay? As financial manager, it is not only your responsibility to think what type or how assets to be acquired, what financing scheme, okay, you need to recommend in order to sustain the business organization or the business operation, but you need also to think that we need to maximize the wealth, yung yaman ng negosyo. Okay? kailangan papagbungahin natin, okay, yung pondo na inilaan ng mga stockholders on that particular business organization. We need to maximize the wealth of the business organization. Okay, if these three questions will have a positive output, okay, or results or answers, you are a good financial manager. Take note of that. Okay. How about capital markets? Okay. What is a capital market? Well, capital markets relate to markets of interest rates. Okay. Interest rates of what? Of equity and bonds. Okay. The interest rates on the equity instruments and bonds. Okay. And then the capital market also the study of different financial institution. We study the financial institution providing these stocks and bonds. While investments, okay, this investment is a decision relating to stocks and bonds, and this also includes the following activities: the security analysis, the portfolio theory, and the market analysis. Yung sinasabing security analysis, yung target mo lang doon is to the valuation or the measurement of securities. Okay? The security analysis, it deals about the valuation of securities. Take note, securities can be a debt security or the equity security. Okay? So, under security analysis, you need to have the valuation, the measurement of the debt securities and the equity security. Okay? That is part of your activity on investments. No? Another is the portfolio theory. Okay, under portfolio theory, it deals about what best portfolio structure should be choose. Okay? Ano po yung sinasabing best portfolio structure? Ibig sabihin is the best portfolio structure is a combination of an equity and a debt security, or a more on debt security lang, walang equity security, or walang debt security or equity security. That is the best portfolio structure, no? As to what is best, it will depend on the business needs, guys. Wala pong criteria as to what is the best. Okay? It will depend on the business structure, business operation, and business model. However, we can evaluate what is best if you believe that best that portfolio structure, okay, will not, okay, incur losses on the part of the company. Yun lang naman kailangan natin, that once we choose the best portfolio structure or the portfolio structure, you need to make sure that walang losses na mai-incur. Okay? Posible maging break even, pero dapat minsan naman, no, wag nating isipin break even lang. We need to have a return, a big return on that particular portfolio structure. Kasi baka at the end of the day, no, marami tayong utang or utang lahat. Okay, that's what you believe, the best portfolio structure. Utang lahat, malaki yung interest. Pero nung pinagalaw mo yung inutang mo, okay, you put it a income generating project, the income is lower than the interest, okay, being paid to that particular to the financing corporation or the bank na nag-provide ng pautang. So maganda nga yung portfolio, but the return hindi maganda because loss pa rin. Mas malaki yung binabayaran mong interest kaysa sa kita natin on the income generating project, where wherein yung inutang natin doon natin inilagay. Okay? It seems that it's not the best portfolio structure. Okay? So you need to once you decide, make sure that you can able to assess the future benefit, no, of that portfolio. Market analysis naman is you are evaluating the changes of the price of stocks and bonds. Remember, stocks the equity and debt securities are keep on changing time to time, no? Okay, if you're going to check the ano ba tawag dito, yung yung isang agency check always checking day to day the fluctuation of stock market, okay, o the stock market pala, ayun na nasabi ko na, no, the stock market. Okay, no, market analysis, you need to analyze if, no, if the the stocks, the price of the stocks, the price of the bonds is fluctuating or keep on increasing. Okay, there are ways, no, on market analysis, but it will be discussed later on this subject, no, yung tinatawag na yung mga yung anong topic ba yun? More on market analysis, yung chine-check mo yung graphical data on the past 10 days, kung yung stock price ng isang negosyo is keep on increasing, and what are the factors affecting on the increase or decrease of that particular stocks. Okay, that's market analysis. Okay, so those are the differences between financial management, capital markets, and investments. Okay, what is the goal of the firm? Ito kailangan natin kasi as financial manager, we want to determine what's the goal of the firm. Generally, no, the goal of the firm is to maximize the wealth of the firm. Payamanin ang negosyo. Okay? To maximize the wealth of the firm, it is needed that the stock price must be maximized. Okay, if there is an increase on the stock price of the company, it means that the firm is um nagiging mayaman siya, no? Kasi pag mahal ang price ng stocks, ibig sabihin marami yung pondo. And then um the investments of the investors, nagkaklase ako. Okay, the investments of the investors, nay nagkaklase gad ako alayon. Okay, the investments of the investors, okay, is okay, if the investment of these investors is keep on increasing, if for example once the particular investor, no, or stockholder invested that on that particular company with a around 10 pesos per stock, then later on naging 15 pesos per stock na siya. So ibig sabihin po, it is a manifestation that the company is, no, yumayaman, because pag mas mahal yung stock price ng isang kumpanya, ibig sabihin parang stable siya, um, um, free from any risk. For example, no, right now, okay, um, ano ba yung pinakamahal before the COVID-19? Yung isang pinakamahal na on on particular industry, for example on SM and Robinsons, no, because from its original stock price, no, okay, after ilang years nag-angat po siya ng kahit ilang sentimo lang, okay, kahit hindi naman malaki yung inangat, no, okay, as long as there is a manifestation that it is keep on increasing, it means that, okay, that the company is achieving its goal, where which is maximization of the wealth of the firm. So hindi po ba yung having profit yung goal of the firm? Well, this is secondary, no? In finance, the maximization of profit is just a secondary goal or secondary objective. Mas priority on finance on maximization of stock price. Why? Because the maximization of stock price is a long-term goal. It is a long-term goal. Okay? And it considers timing, cash flows, and risk. Okay? No? While the profit maximization is a very short-term goal. Bakit sinasabing short-term goal lang ang profit maximization? It is because, for example, no, the if you want to earn a profit this year for 10,000, that goal is for this year only. Okay? So pag ma-achieve na yan, tapos na. Bagong goal na naman for the next year. So for the maximization of stock price, it is a long-term goal. If you want to achieve a stock price, for example, nagsimula po tayo at 13 pesos na stock price, and then after 5 years, you want that stock price to be at its peak, sabihin natin 18 pesos. Okay, malaki na po yun, no? Yung 5 pisong na idagdag sa stock price. Okay, so ibig sabihin, para ma-achieve yung 5 pesos na stock price, hindi lang po isang tulog yan. Because it considers timing. Okay? Ano po yung sinasabing timing? Okay? The timing here is about the changing situation in a particular industry, community, or even in, for example, right now, even though companies would like to achieve at the end of 2020, to have a stock price of around, sasabihin natin, 17 pesos, they cannot achieve that 17 pesos because the timing is not good. Remember, as of this situation, we cannot increase the stock price because of the pandemic, retrenchment, economic one, economic recession, yung employment, yung the capability of the consumers to purchase goods, the purchasing powers. Those are the factors that will affect on the maximization of stock price. Yung cash flows, yung papasok na pera, considering the purchasing power of the people right now is very low, the cash flows, okay, the cash inflows masyadong mababa, and then the cash outflows mas marami because we keep on paying our employees provided that our customers is very limited. So that is another factor. The risk, okay? The risk is also important, as part of maximization of stock price. Okay? While profit maximization is just a short-term goal. Okay. And then we have the corporate governance. Okay? I think this corporate or the governance and agency. A corporate governance is the rules and processes and laws by which companies are operated, controlled, and regulated. Ibig sabihin, parang po ito siya yung um, libreta, okay? Or kung sabi, basis on how we rule, how we process, how we decide, and how the company works, no? Okay? Kumbaga, the corporate governance pwede po pagbasihan ang bylaws, pwede po ba yung mga specific policies, okay, promulgated by the board of directors. Okay, this is part of corporate governance. And then, ano po yung sinasabing agency? In a corporate type of organization, there is what we call agency relationship. No, an agency relationship may exist in business organization and may cause certain problems or issues. Okay, agency relationship, ito po yung sinasabing merong principal and agent relationship. Okay, the principal, okay, no? For example, okay, the stockholders are the principal and the person acting in behalf of the stockholders are the agents. Okay, that is the agency. That is the agency relationship or the principal agent relationship. Remember, in this type of relationship, there will be certain issues or problems that may exist because these are two different people. Okay, the stockholder's mind is different to the agent's mind. The principal's ideals will be different to the agent's ideals. Okay? Sa umpisa pwedeng magtugma, but later on, okay, as time passes by, pwede nang magkaiba yan. Okay? So, the problem or the issue may exist if the perspective, the goal of the principal and the agent is already different to each other. Okay? For example, the stockholder wanted to have a income or increase their stock price by end of 2023. Ikaw na agent, o dahil pinapaswelduhan ka lang, ikaw nagproproseso, posible sa umpisa okay kasi you are thinking in behalf for the purpose of the organization, but in the long run may tao lang naman kasi ito sila na mga agent, may tendency iisipin nila why I am working in behalf of those stockholders, in fact I'm not being given any incentives once they achieve that goal. Okay? Doon nagkakaroon ng issue. For example, achieve nga noong 2023 yung pagtaas ng kita, pagtaas ng mga ng stock price, but then ikaw as financial manager, wala ka namang benefit na nakuha. So posible on the next planning, okay, you will think, okay, ako naman gumagawa, dapat ako una makaka-benefit dyan. So, the issue and the problem may exist on that. So, how are we going to minimize if we cannot able to eradicate that issue unless we can minimize that issue or problem through agency cost? Ano yung mga agency cost? Let's give this agents, acting in behalf of the corporation additional perks, incentives, okay? This may help us to minimize, if not eradicated, or eliminates those agency problems, okay? No, that is, yung agency problem na tinutukoy ko kanina is one of the uh, those are what most common yan, no? Okay? So, agency cost. We give incentives, we give perks, okay? Additional benefits. O, for example, pag ma-achieve natin yung quota natin, ma-achieve natin yung stock price na 20 pesos at the end of 2023, kayong lahat, hanggang sa pinakamaliit na empleyado, mabibigyan ng isang shares of stock. That's a perk. That is an agency cost. Okay? At least these people acting for the corporation is will work, um will work with motivation kasi even though they are working in behalf of the corporation, they will feel that they are part of the organization because meron tinatawag na mga incentives. Profit sharing, ibig sabihin, at the end of the year, okay, if we are going to target our profit at the end of the year, 10% of that profit will be divided to all employees. That's profit sharing, which is very much common also in auditing firms in Manila. Okay, one of my friend, no, because they are auditors of one of the big four companies, okay, one of the big four auditing firms. They are very motivated to have more clients, to entertain clients, because at the end of the year, they have what we call profit sharing na term. Pag the end of the year, may profit sharing, and then after the profit sharing pa, meron pa silang perks na mga travels. Okay? That will at least minimize the agency problem that may arise. Okay, financial decision and risk and trade-off. Okay, this will be the last part of Unit 1, the financial decisions and risk trade-off. Take note, financial decisions involves the trade-off of risk and return. Okay, yun lang. That's the general rule. In every financial decision that a managerial finance practitioner prepare, there is always a trade-off, no? Parang may tinitimbang niya yung risk at return on that financial decision. And the general rule for that risk and return, there is a direct relationship. Directly proportional yung relationship ng risk and return. Ano po ba ibig sabihin ng direct proportional? If the risk is high, it is presumed that the return is high. And if the risk is low, it is presumed that the return is low. Parang, which is true naman, no? Pag, pag you enter no, into an investment that is very much high, and that is too risky. For example, yung iba, sabihin na lang natin yung mga nagna-networking dyan. Okay? Sometimes it's too risky. I'm not saying that networking is bad, but, okay, but it's too risky. Pero because of that risk, they are motivated to do more, no? To recruit more, okay? Because they knew the risk of their investment. As a result, because they are recruiting more, no, networks, the return is high. Oh, ganun 'yon, okay? Yun yung effect. Pero kung alam mong mababa lang yung yung risk na binigay mo, for example, you are going to invest in a simple business, o yun, nagkwek-kwek ka lang, maliit lang naman yung puhunan ng kwek-kwek, no? O, fishball, okay. Naglagay ka lang ng mesa, and then naglagay ka ng ano ba yun, yung lutuan, o maliit lang naman yan. Obviously, because alam mong maliit lang yung investment, may possibility na maliit lang din yung um, area or market mo. So the return on that investment that you have, mababa rin. Okay? So the risk is directly proportional with return. And once you prepare financial decision, you are weighing in, no, the risk and the return on that financial decision. Okay? So, in that case, tapos ko na po i-discuss ang Unit 1. Do you have any questions related to this? Kung wala pa, as of now, you may um, PM, okay, or put na lang sa comment section ng FB page. But I am